Hey, it's time for TV Skywriter. Hello, everybody, and welcome to TV Skywriter. I'm Pat Murray. I publish the Durham Skywriter. That's Durham, North Carolina's online community paper. And I also host TV Skywriter, which this is what I'm doing right now. This is a weekly show, usually weekly. I do have to admit, this is the first show that I've done in a few weeks because I have been coughing and sneezing my way through January. So I'm very happy to be back. But basically, TV Skywriter is all about you. This is where I introduce you to people that I think you should know. It could be you. I could be introducing you to the world. I love to interview people. I've been interviewing people since, mid-90s or so. And I think I've got it down pretty nicely. I love to talk with people. I love to meet them where they are and talk about their books, their businesses, their faith, whatever's going on in their lives. So I invite you to contact me. The easiest way is via Twitter at Durham Skywriter. Now, what I'm going to do today I'm the guest, and basically I'm just going to spend a few minutes just telling you what's going on with the Durham Skywriter and TV Skywriter. Now, if you are from out of town and I've interviewed you on TV Skywriter, you might not even be aware that that TV Skywriter is actually an offshoot of the Durham Skywriter, and that is the online community paper that I publish. I call it a monthly, but basically, even though it's called a monthly, I update it every single day. There's always something new happening here in Durham, and it's my job to report on it and to let you know what's happening. So let me tell you about the Durham Skywriter. It is, like I said, a monthly. It started out as a printed newspaper. Actually, I'm going to go further back and tell you I actually got my start in Chicago, my hometown. I had moved back to my old neighborhood, Woodlawn, and I wanted to put out a community. I always was a huge fan of newspapers. Never thought I'd become a journalist, but the opportunity came when they invented the, laptop computers, or I should say the small computers. I started out with the desktop, a Mac, of course. And I said, well, I'm back in Woodlawn. People didn't necessarily have the best feeling about living in Woodlawn. It's known as a low-income area, and some people felt kind of down about that. So my job was to point out the positive points, tackle some of the issues that we were dealing with. So the Woodlawn Scoop, which was the name of the newspaper, it was a monthly, and I Xeroxed the first few editions. But the Woodlawn Scoop eventually became the Woodlawn Inglewood Scoop. Inglewood is a community right across the Dan Ryan Expressway from Woodlawn, also low-income area. Although I heard that both neighborhoods have been discovered as of late and are being gentrified as we speak. I have no idea what's going on. I need to visit back home and see what's happening. Basically, what happened with Woodlawn Inglewood Scoop, it became the Southside Scoop because different communities were saying, well, when are you coming our way? So eventually I started covering not just Woodlawn and Inglewood, but 13 different Southside communities in Chicago. And then, of course, I moved here to Durham to take care of my aunt and started the Durham Skywriter, which was pretty much a copy of the Southside Scoop with Durham information. Basically, I decided to go online. It's cheaper. I have far more readers. I do admit that I miss having the printed copy. I love having, the paper right there in my hands. And a lot of my readers admit that they miss having the paper right there in their hands as well. But progress kind of tells me to continue with the online paper. I am getting more readers. Also, when you have a printed paper, you can't update it until the next issue. What you print is there. It's finalized and that's it. What I love about being online is that I'm able to, like on the fly, change something. If I catch a typo, which doesn't happen too often, but when I do catch one, I'm able to change it, fix it. If somebody has an update, if somebody has a correction, I hate printing erroneous information, but if I make a mistake and somebody corrects me, I'm able to do it right then and there. Another thing I like about the Durham Skywriter being online is that now that I'm doing videos, I'm able to do videos, make videos, and embed them right there in the Durham Skywriter. You don't even have to leave the website, and you can watch the video right there on the spot. I love that. Also, I'm able to link to, like, for example, on the gardening page. Let me see if I have the name of it. I don't think I have the name of it, but the North Carolina State Cooperative Extension has a newsletter, and I'm able to actually download it and then upload it to the Durham Skywriter. Instead of just linking to it, you can actually read their newsletter while on the Durham Skywriter website. So basically what I want to do, I just want to tell you about the different ways that I can help you with the Durham Skywriter. If you're local, of course, the Durham Skywriter is all about the Bull City. TV Skywriter, on the other hand, is about, basically, I can interview anyone from around the world. I've interviewed people in Afghanistan, believe it or not, Brazil, Kenya, and of course, Durham. Half of my guests are, of course, local. So I'll get to TV Skywriter after I tell you, local folks, Durhamites, how I can help you with the Durham Skywriter. So I'm just going to run down this list. I'll try not to take up too much time because I don't like to talk on and on and on. So let me just get started. So I'm going to go page by page. The Durham Skywriter has a cover story, of course. 4 times a year, I have, everybody loves my El Cheapo handy hint. So I always have, in fact, the next issue coming up, February issue, which is already up, but the cover story hasn't been changed yet. That's going to be handy hints for winter. Okay, so that's the cover story. Basically, any subject is, I'm up for writing just about anything. If you have a question, you say, I want you to write about this or that, look into this or whatever, I'd be happy to do it if I can and write about it. My cover stories deal sometimes with hard issues, sometimes just celebrating Durham. Sometimes I'm telling you, for example, when I write about the Durham County Library as a cover story, I like to point out how it's about much, much, much more than books nowadays. So that's the cover story. Okay, now the next page is the word page. That basically is the nonprofit governmental news page. And basically you can expect every month to see the listing of the American Red Cross classes. Okay, also the classes, free classes that are offered by the Durham Tech Small Business Center, which is downtown. Also, in this particular issue, and until, of course, April, I'll be running the information on the free tax assistance program called VITA or VITA. And so I have all of the locations and times listed so that you can get your taxes done for free. Okay. And it's, by the way, let me just tell you, it's for low and moderate income folks, people who make less than $54,000, which to me is not low or moderate. But basically, you might be eligible for getting your taxes done for free. You might not be aware. So look into that. Check out the article on the word page and see if you're eligible to get your taxes done for free. You might be overpaying. All righty. After the word page is the on the job page. That's where I interview people about their professions. I've interviewed volunteers as well. I've even interviewed Santa Claus. But basically, the idea behind On the Job is for young people to see what's out in the working world. I like to ask whoever I'm interviewing what their typical day is and also what classes a young person should take if they want to become, whatever the profession is we're talking about. So that's, and also, if you're clever, On the Job can be a slick way to advertise your business, or I should say, market your business. So if you would like to be interviewed in the Durham Skywriter, I've interviewed police officers, firefighters, teachers, like I said, Santa Claus, volunteers, people from all walks of life, all different jobs. So contact me if you'd like to be interviewed for On the Job. I would love to interview you. Okay, Neighbor Goodies is basically tiny but good short stories about what's happening here in Durham. Sometimes somebody will say, well, I remember I had a short story about a young man who saved someone's life. They were about to get hit by a car. He shoved them out of the way. So that was a story on Neighbor Goodies. Also on the Neighbor Goodies page are listings of local GoFundMe and Kickstarter projects so that you can help them out. Okay, the Zoom page. That's the Zoom page. That's the page for kids, jokes, science experiments, crafts, News for young people. Basically, it's the page for kids, and I love doing it. It's really fun. The school tools page, that is the page, of course, all dealing with education from pre-K all the way up to college. I list different programs that parents, grandparents, caregivers, guardians can connect their kids with, tutoring information, just anything having to do with education, with school. I also list online classes that you can take for free if you just want to just learn for fun, which is what I like to do sometimes. Okay, the To Your Health page, of course, that's health information. Basically, nonprofit health organizations send me information, or I'm able to get information online, or I interview people. Smoking cessation, diabetes, just all the different issues dealing with health. Now, there is a sub page in the To Your Health page. Once you're on the To Your Health page, you can click on a big blue health events button, and that is information from the different support groups. For example, Duke University Medical Center has a lot of support groups. Lincoln Community Health Center, NCCU, whatever, wherever I can get the information, I find it and I put it on the health events page. Okay, the Senior Scope page, that's for people who are age 55 and up. Usually on the Senior Scope page, you'll see information from the Durham Center for Senior Life, classes, special events. They have a lot going on. You might not even be aware. It's really fun to hang. They also have a pool room. It's really fun. Lots and lots and lots of classes, many of which are free. Also, I list information from the Durham Parks and Recreation mature adults. I don't like the phrase mature adults. It's like anybody under 55 is immature, but that's what they call those of us who are 55 and up. So I list their information as well. Also, events from the at the Levin Jewish Community Center, which serves Chapel Hill and Durham. Or I should say Durham and Chapel Hill. Okay, next. The garden shed page for those of us who love to garden. Usually, again, like I mentioned before, I have the newsletter from the North Carolina State Cooperative Extension. I also have any kind of gardening information that I can get that's of local interest. A lot of it's from the Cooperative Extension. Also, information that you might not be aware of, like, for example, the Durham County Library has you can get books, right? At the library, you can also get seeds, believe it or not. They have a seeds exchange where you can bring in seeds and you can take out seeds. All righty. Next is the praise page. Basically, it's religious information, usually from the, I have information from the DCIA, Durham Communities, Durham Congregations in Action. How could I forget that? DCIA. Also, how can I put it? The different congregations. If I find out that a certain congregation has something going on, I will put it on the praise page, and that includes local churches, masjids, and temples. I try not to leave anybody out. Okay, and also if they have health fairs or anything going on with the houses of worship, I try to find out and put it on the praise page. Okay, and you might notice that some of this information might cross into different categories. Like, for example, let's suppose Union Baptist. Okay, suppose they have a health fair. I'll have it on the praise page, but I'll also have it on the health page as well. Okay, legal ease and safety first. That page has legal advice, not advice, legal information. I don't give legal advice, but also clinics. There are NCCU has clinics where you can have a do-it-yourself child custody, divorce, whatever. Duke also has clinics. I also have political information for those who are politically active and want to learn about what's happening in the political realm. As far as safety first, sometimes there are just topics that I must cover dealing with public safety. So I put it on that page as well. Sport and life. Not too many people know where the term sport and life from. Obviously, that's the sports page. The sport and life was a character in a musical, Porgy and Bess, and I thought that was a cute name for the sports page. So sport and life has information from Durham Parks and Recreation, as you would expect, But also, there's a big green button that you can click on the sports page, and that is the Great Outdoors sub page. And that has state parks information, free events occurring in Eno River, Jordan Lake, Falls Lake, and Umstead State Parks. And that's every month. So be sure to check that page as well. Also, I list sky watching sessions. It's always fun to look through telescopes. These are always free. And different entities hold these sky watching sessions, usually Moorhead Planetarium in Chapel Hill. And their sky watching sessions are in Chapel Hill, of course, but also here in Durham, different places. Also, NC State. Wait a minute. Quick sip of water. NC State has sky watching sessions sometimes. NCCU, North Carolina Central University, and Durham Parks and Recreation, and Duke University. All of those entities, not every month, but they often have sky watching sessions. Well, throughout the year, let's put it that way. So that's sports page. How to could be basically about anything. How to write a resume, how to, if I find out something that's really cool to write about, I'll put it on the how-to page. If I interview someone, like for example, if I interview a plumber and he wants to teach us how to change a faucet or whatever, I'll put that on the how-to page. Basically, it's just a fun page where you can learn how to do whatever. Changes every month. And the last page is the Let's Go. That's the calendar of events. And that is local events, usually almost always in Durham. Every now and then, I'll list something that's in Raleigh, Hillsborough, or Chapel Hill, or Carborough. But almost always, the events listed on the Let's Go page are happening in Durham. I say basically a lot, but events going from free, like church events, Durham Parks and Recreation events, business openings, museums, everything is on the Let's Go page, basically. And that's also the main page for the advertisements that I run in the Durham Skywriter. My analytics show that most people, let's just say that the Let's Go page gets more views than any other page. So I chose that to be the page for most of the ads that run in the Durham Skywriter. So, so if you do advertise, most people will see your ad on the Let's Go page. Okay, so hopefully you will look at the Durham Skywriter. You can find it at durhamskywriter.com. Figure out where you fit in. If you have information for me, I'd love to hear from you. I can't call this a community paper if it's just me. So I'd love for you to get involved by sending me information, allowing me to interview you. If you know someone who would love to be interviewed or needs publicity, let me know. I'd love to interview you or whoever you have in mind. Also, let me tell you about Bull City Notes. That is a daily show that's on Facebook Live. And I can go on from anywhere from 9 to 3. Depends on my schedule. It's a 5. Uh-oh, my voice is giving way. Getting over a bad cold. Bull City Notes is on Facebook Live. It's from 5, I'll say from 5 to 10 minutes. I tell you what's happening here in the Bull City. And a new development this year with Bull City Notes is that I will start bringing people on screen with me. In other words, if you're watching, hopefully this is going to be pre-scheduled, but I would like to be able to bring viewers onto the screen. Like, for example, if I'm listing, let's just say something happening at Durham Parks and Recreation at one of the parks. Ideally, Cynthia Booth, who handles, information and marketing with DPR, she would be watching the show, prearranged, and then I would bring her on screen to tell us about the event. I would like to do that as often as possible. So if you have an event that you want me to list, ideally you get much more out of it if you can come on screen, if you've got the nerve to do so, and explain to the people what's going on with your event. I'd love to do that. I think it would add just a little extra oomph to Bull City Notes. And of course, you're watching TV Skywriter, so you know what that's about. I interview people from around the world, and it's fun. I love to do it. I've had musicians on who have performed live, and that's always fun. So I definitely invite musicians to let me know if you want me to interview you. And I think that's pretty much it. Let me check my notes, make sure I covered everything. Oh, one more thing. I am adding video videos more and more to the Durham Skywriter. I am now doing freelance video work also. I've done work for Meals on Wheels, the Scrap Exchange, Project Access, and I would love to do videos, not just for nonprofits, but for houses of worship, businesses, artists, etc., etc. I've been doing freelance photography for literally for decades, but I'm just adding video is a whole different world, and I absolutely love it. It is so fun, and I seem to have a knack at it, so knack with it or at it, however that goes. But I would love to work on your video. Just give me a call or contact me via Twitter at Durham Skywriter, and let's talk. I think that's pretty much it for today. So you have a gorgeous evening or day, whatever you happen to be in this whatever space right now. And I will see you next week. I think next week my guest will be Alice Fuller. She's a social media, I will say, strategist. That's a good word. She lives in Raleigh. She's a good friend of mine. And I will see you soon. I will see you tomorrow. In fact, I'll be doing Bull City Notes on Facebook Live. And I hope to see you there. So ciao for now. See you real soon.